So as Romeo said to Juliet, what's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Not so according to the Kama Sutra. Ancient Indian erotic sciences most definitely thought that names were a big deal. In Book 3 of the Kama Sutra, which is the section dedicated to choosing wives, there are several things mentioned that make a woman suitable or unsuitable. And amongst these, the longest list of things that make a woman unsuitable as a wife is to do with names. So some of the name taboos mentioned are very specific. For instance, Vatsyayana says that a man should not marry a girl whose name ends with either an L or an R. Names like Kamli, Vimlu, Karu, Tara, etc. were unacceptable. There was something about these alphabets in that position in a name. According to the erotic sciences, it just made it so powerful that it actually made the woman unsuitable. Some of the other name taboos are a little bit more general. So the author warns men not to marry a girl named after a constellation, for instance. Or he says one should not marry a girl who's named after a tree or a river or a mountain even. Equally unacceptable are girls named after snakes or birds. And then it gets really vague. We're told that one must not marry a woman who has a lower caste name or a menial name or even a frightening name, whatever that might mean. Now, the Kama Sutra does talk of other things as well that make a woman unsuitable for marriage. Things like pimples and whiteheads, for instance, were considered inauspicious. If a woman had pimples and whiteheads, it was believed that her wealth would be destroyed and that her husband would die. Or women with bulging foreheads were considered unsuitable because that was supposed to be the mark of a bad temper. Also, women with too much hair, women with too little hair, women with red hair. There were all sorts of things, but somehow the list was not as long as the rules on names. In the time of the Kama Sutra, the biggest obstacle to the suitability of women for marriage seems to have hinged on names.